Welcome to Birthing Purpose with Lana. Today we have Marcus Allen Ward. He is a creative, he's an entrepreneur, filmmaker, and musician. Welcome, Marcus.
How you doing? Welcome. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here. You have an amazing journey. I've been knowing you a very long time, and I'm so proud of all that you've accomplished. Behind the scenes, I've been one of your biggest cheerleaders, whether you've known it or not. So I wanted the viewers to be able to hear your journey and for you to walk them through your birthing process to birthing these amazing visions that you have. So we talk about pregnancy conception. And so I believe, according to Ephesians 2:10, that we are all God's handiwork created in Jesus Christ to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Who do you give credit to your pregnancy conception with purpose?
I give credit to God, obviously, first and foremost, for birthing it, and also my parents, for just allowing me to be creative and just explore as a kid, because a lot of people don't have that opportunity to, explore in the first place. So I give credit to them, then trusting me to not go off too far. Yeah.
So how did you figure out that this is what you wanted to do?
Well, like you said, I think I had two babies. I would say, film and music, but really I'm a creative. So I guess any space, I used to draw when I was a kid and things like that. So anything that I kind of apply myself to creatively, I'm just kind of fascinated with that. Yeah, I'm sorry. What was the question again?
That was it. You answered.
So
you both done, Okay, so I talk about gender reveal. And these are the clues to knowing what it is you've been called to do. So what is the theme of your life? You answered that. You said, I was always writing as a kid. What do you do well with the least amount of effort? What do people compliment you for? What are you passionate about? What population do you want to affect? What problem do you want to solve? And can your theme, your gifts, and your passions all be merged? So can you speak a little bit to that? Any of these clues that may have helped you to figure out your purpose?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, can you keep them up real quick just for me so I can see them? I'll talk about them.
Oh, okay.
All right. Yeah. So, like I said, it's always been creativity is just kind of I don't know why. And I think, my dad took me to places and, museums and things like that when I was young. So I'm just fascinated by making things just kind of out of thin air. But what I do well at the least amount of effort is I think I create in the moment. I'm good at that. Some people are good at planning and things like that. But, if somebody would call me up, hey, I got $1 million, give me an idea to do this, I can do it. That's like my gift, creating right there in the moment. And if I thought about it too long, it probably, probably wouldn't be as good as if it was, when I thought about it in the moment. So that's what I do well with the least amount of effort, I would say. And people compliment me for that. And that's the, how I'm able to make music and film and things like that. And, I've always been good at imagining little worlds and making them into real things. And sometimes, it's off the mark of what I even think it is. It's you always think of things larger in your mind than they come out to be in reality. So what we see is really just a small piece of, what it could have been, I guess, in another place. What am I passionate about? Just like I said, creativity. And entrepreneurship. When I was a kid, I mean, and my parents know, I would make these I was into animals and things like that. So I would make these little terrariums and little things. And I was tagging them and thinking about selling them at one point. Or when I was at, school, I would sell candy and things like that. So just always been an entrepreneur and just thinking of ways to create. I mean, even, maybe just being the only child in the house at the time, making things out of shoe boxes and things like that. So just making something out of nothing is really what I'm passionate about in any medium that you can.
So pregnancy confirmation. A lot of pregnant women have to go to the doctor and they get that confirmation like, yes, you are pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And so some people's purposes are confirmed by God. They may have a dream, vision, a prophetic word. It could be like their gifts and talents, or they take career tests or gifts tests. So what was your confirmation? Did you have any of these happen for you to know, like, what you believe it is it?
Yeah, absolutely. I can say, I've been doing music for years, and that I guess the ease of which ideas come is my confirmation musically. But I can speak to something like that's grounded in like the real world. When I started doing like film, I had only been working in it maybe for probably 3 months, 4 months, and I aligned with somebody who had the crew for it, had all the equipment and the things like that, and had been doing it for a while. So that was a confirmation for me. But through aligning him, only working on it for 3 months, we got the opportunity to shoot a commercial for Union Home Mortgage, which is a $300 million company in Cleveland here, one of the biggest companies. And that just came after 3 months, just almost fell from the sky, So I just knew that was a confirmation to me that I'm moving in the right direction.
Yeah, God started making a way for you.
Yeah, yeah. And at that point, I had let go of my initial plans. I did. There was no plan, So God just let me put it in His hands and just provided the opportunity. I didn't even consider that a thing, and it just came out of nowhere. So that was a big confirmation for me.
Yeah. They say provision is in purpose. When you get into purpose, here comes provision. So your attitude, your pregnancy attitude, everyone doesn't want to be pregnant. And then some are happy. So once you figured out that God wants you to be a filmmaker, a musician, you have multiple babies within you. What's your attitude about these pregnancies, your twins? Were you happy? Were you a little fearful? How did you feel? Did it bring a peace? What was your attitude about all that you had to do? Was it overwhelming? Like, oh my gosh, I got to do all this stuff. How am I going to do all of this? Were you, or did you just have the faith like, hey, I'm going to get it done?
The attitude was an attitude of, I guess, like I spoke earlier, just letting go, just free, just being free to, I don't even know the word for it, but no worries.
You surrender to what?
Surrendered, exactly. Yes, surrender to God and His plan. That's my attitude towards it now, and I have no worries or anxiety. I used to really worry about making music and things like that, but like I said, when the film thing came through, there's no worries. I have no worries about it, and I'm very confident in what I do and confident in God's plan for me. So
you actually have triplets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. You DJ.
DJ as well, yeah. But I put that under entrepreneurship. So what I do is I have a company called Long Division Creative, and we program events. I DJ as well as I have a roster of DJs underneath me, and then we shoot commercials and make films, make full-length films. So it's just kind of like an umbrella for everything that me and the team that I've assembled over the years do creatively. And then music falls. What's that?
Too, right? Concerts?
Yeah, we produce concerts, corporate events, parties. I mean, things for the art museum, all types of things. So, and again, that's nothing that I plan to do, So it's really just an attitude of just gratitude, absolutely, and trust. I would say those are the biggest things.
I didn't have a plan. You didn't have a plan. It's almost like some people don't plan to be pregnant. It's like, oops.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pregnant. I gotta go with this thing. And it seems like a lot of stuff kind of fell in your lap. Like you were creative. You wanted to do these things, but you didn't really have a plan on how it was going to go. It kind of just like kind of fell on your lap, right?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I did, I was a big planner maybe years ago. I stopped in, 2017, I would say. But like before that, 10 years, I was going hard at
Oh,
music, trying to, so yeah, I was planning that out down to every detail because I'm a control freak. But like once I relinquished control, I saw big changes in everything once I relinquished control,
yeah, that's
which
important.
was,
That's important.
yeah, which I didn't want to do, but God kind of forced me to do it. I mean, the big thing for me 2 years ago, I got tendonitis in my left arm here, so
Oh,
um, I wasn't able to play music at all for a year and a half at all. I couldn't play guitar and do anything that I thought was my only purpose to be on earth was to play, do music. So during that time, I was in the house and, aligned with other people, started a business, officially started an LLC, started programming events, started DJing because I couldn't play guitar, started DJing more aggressively. I guess I was already DJing, but, took it seriously, took entrepreneurship seriously, and took film seriously. And those things have really blossomed outside of my control. And then now I'm back making music again, and that is also going well. So, all things came around once I relinquished control. I'd say that's a big
wow.
thing.
So it's like God is just like an amazing GPS. He knows how to reroute you and get
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
back on track. And that is kind of what he did with you. And so I tell people all the time, don't be so stressed out because he is an amazing GPS. Like his grace and mercy will get you where you need to be. Um, and so don't even worry about it. But once you surrendered, yeah, it's like, yeah, if you sometimes he forces you, like you say, to surrender. You don't have
Yeah.
a choice. And that's what's so amazing about him because he just loves us so much. Um, I want to talk a little bit about how much time you spend in doctor's appointments or what we would call God appointments because you believe that God gave you this vision. So what does your God appointments look like? Prayer? Is it, going to church? Is it meditation? Like what is it that keeps you connected so that you can hear clearly from God to do what it is he's called you to do?
Yeah, daily prayer for sure. In the morning, at least you try to, if I'm being honest. But yeah, daily prayer, um, daily meditation is a goal. It's do it more. I do meditate, but I'd like to do it every day.
Yeah.
Um, and also, I'm lucky to have, like I said, parents and they keep me just text me scriptures every day, and that's I'm lucky to have that just to keep it top of mind for me,
Yeah.
um, to continue to pour into me. And
Which
so,
leads us to, yeah, prenatal vitamins.
mm,
Those are things that keep the baby healthy. So, like you say, the scriptures, and I know songs because music definitely has to be an inspiration for you and to keep you motivated. Um, what are some of the other things that motivate you besides, scriptures? Maybe your parents send you, scriptures every day or music. Do you watch other people, like listening to their stories, motivational videos, books, or any of those things to keep you motivated?
yeah, to keep me motivated
Or
is
encouraged?
art.
Yeah. Mhm.
What's that?
Yeah. To keep you motivated
Oh
and
yeah,
encouraged. Yeah.
yeah. To keep me motivated. Anytime I can kind of feel myself like being like untethered or just off, I just go back to the things that excited me initially, which is art and like art history. And I'm really a big fanatic about that. As you can see in the background, I got some African art behind me.
That's good.
Um,
That's good.
that and jazz, just those are, just looking back at those guys' stories and what they did in the time, given the circumstances, is really inspirational for me. So anytime like I said, become untethered, I just go back to those guys.
Yes. That leads us to restricted activities. So,
One moment.
pregnant women,
Sorry
pregnant,
about that.
no, you're good. Pregnant women, they
Mhm.
cannot do everything. They can't do drugs, alcohol. They shouldn't. Ride roller coasters, pick up heavy things. These are things that could, have them to abort their baby. What are some of the restrictions that you had to have on your life to keep you focused, to make sure that your baby wasn't aborted? It could be, for example, I know, drugs or drink, alcohol, any type of activities, bad habits, negative people, going to the wrong place, maybe some negative thinking patterns, maybe social media. These are just some examples of restrictions that people need to have to stay focused.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's, I can't be doing drugs all the time. I mean, that's not
You
really.
are not doing drugs all the time, were you?
No, but I'm just saying I can't allow myself to do that. That's not good
Oh.
for anybody.
So what did you have to cut out that you like, I gotta stop this, else I'm not.
Cut out.
Yeah.
Just I think procrastination and procrastination is big.
Yeah.
I like to do things now once you think of them. I mean, I have like a running notepad in my phone and the iPhone to, as soon as you think of it, write it down or do it right when you do it, right when you think of it. Don't put off tomorrow what you can do today because you never know what can happen tomorrow. So procrastination was big. And like I said, I just had to stop controlling everything. I mean, I think that was a big thing for me. Stop trying to control.
Thinking patterns. You had to change your thinking.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
What form of education did you have? We call it Lamaze class for pregnant women, but let's talk a little bit about your schooling. Or how do you keep yourself up on the best practices, or really develop your craft? Is it through webinars? Did you do any internships, any volunteering, job shadowing? These are just different things, or reading books. What do you do to sharpen your skills?
Man, so I guess with music particularly, I practice 2 hours a day every day on just guitar and guitar right now. Basically, I'm just focusing on being the best guitar player I can be right now. Aside from that, studying film, going back and watching, films that maybe you don't want to watch, but you may find, I'm watching like an Italian film, Fellini, from 1961 or something like that, in all black and white. I got to read subtitles the whole time, but this is one of the greatest films in cinema, so I have to watch it, just to be downloaded with the information to, maybe see something that you wouldn't see in modern films. So going back and doing the history, stuff like that, I'm big on that. Always look for something new, a new piece of information every day. That's what I like to do.
And as an entrepreneur, I know you have lots of marketing to do, or your team has marketing to do. You went to school for marketing as well, right?
Yep. Yeah, I went to school for marketing, and entrepreneurship was actually my minor. Sorry about that. So, marketing was my major. Entrepreneurship was my minor. I was a philosophy major at first, but I changed it to something business. So, but
there it is, God GPSing you.
Yeah.
Like, what? Come on back on over here. If you're gonna need what I have you to do. See how he reroutes you? Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I was a marketing major, entrepreneurship minor, and I'm like I said, study music on a daily basis. So
let's talk about your nursery, the things that you need to do what it is you do. So what does that look like for you? Funding, equipment, supplies, members, employees, marketing, of course. So want to talk a little bit about what your nursery looks like?
Yeah. So you do need money, and you do need a team to really get things done in 2020. Anybody that's doing anything by themselves is just not going to work. So you need funding as well, and you need what else was on the list?
GoFundMes. How'd you get the money? You just was making money, working, saving up. Did you do GoFundMes? Did people support you, maybe help you out? Did you do loans?
Yeah, so I never did like a GoFundMe or anything. I never asked my audience for money. But particularly, with the event side, DJ, we make money and through events.
But to get it all
And
started, to get it all going initially.
well, lucky for us is an LLC, first of all, is $150 for anybody watching this to get that started. So that's not much. But we are a service business, so there's not much overhead that we have to do. Now, I was already gigging as a DJ, so a lot of the money that I made through the gigs, I saved it and bought the setup that I was renting, basically. So once you buy that, that's the overhead. Maybe $2,000 that you invest in a sound system, which that's paid off within a gig or two. So like after that, to expand, you just need to reinvest a portion of what you're making. Yeah, and it helps that we've had, our team members have had jobs. I will say that, people dog day jobs and things like that. But it helped.
Yeah, but we got to shout out your parents now. I remember your mom was turning that garage into a studio at one time for you.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I've been practicing.
I said, where you gonna park your cars at? Listen, Marcus need what he need, and I'm gonna get it for him. And they put them cars out that garage and redid that. I mean, that's some love. They really believe in you, and
absolutely, yeah. They let me practice there. Play music out of there. You definitely give me money. So yeah, like I said from the beginning of this, I'm very lucky to have such great parents for sure.
Let's talk about prioritizing. Some people are so busy that if they hear from God as to what it is they need to do, they don't even have room on their plate for it. So I talk to people about avoiding those overloaded schedules, get proper rest. Sometimes you're too busy, you're not getting enough sleep. You don't even you're too tired to even make those God appointments. You're wore out. You're not even talking to God. You're not even hearing, So what kind of prioritizing did you have to do? So like, I got to stop with this. Like some people say, I can't be doing everything for everybody. Another person was saying how they were involved in so many different things. It was like, I had to shut all that down and just focus on this thing. Did you experience that?
Yeah. Time management is important. Like I said, when you have a job and you work a 9 to 5, and then you're also investing 5 hours after you get off work into your personal visions, like you do have to have time management. So, through the years, I think I'm able to gauge the legitimacy and seriousness of of a project within the first 2 minutes. You know what I mean? So, whereas maybe I would have shot a music video for my friend, maybe 3 years ago or something, or spent a whole weekend working on somebody else's track or something. Now I can't do those things. I just can't, so, and that's why me and my partner, Darren, who run Law and Division, we have a focus on full length films and commercials, things like that, that'll either make a large impact or get paid. Like, that's it. So I can't really shoot your music video for fun, or I can't spend these hours, shooting it. That's something's going to last, for 2 days or a week or whatever. So yeah, your priorities have to change. Like I said, it either has to be impact or finance. If neither one of those things are there, then it's not worth me doing at this point at all.
All right. Let's talk about labor pains. Oh, right before the baby comes, here are these pains, which I equate to maybe right before you were getting ready to launch your business, or what, roadblocks, a problem, a situation, Did you experience that where you're like, oh man, not now? Some people have financial roadblocks, like, oh, I plan to drop this at this date, do this at this time. I can't because of whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was touring heavily as a musician before I'd even started a business or done film, I lost money. It basically went broke, like on tour. I mean, we were flying to New York, Atlanta, Toronto, like all these places, and it was not economical or smart at the time. So yeah, I mean, basically lost my money. Probably went broke twice doing music, 2 or 3 times. Spending money on marketing, things like that.
Right.
And that was like 3 years ago, or a couple of years ago. So when that happened, yeah, I got the tendonitis, stayed home, made money, saved money in the time, stopped going on the road. And like I said, God redirected me and started a business in the meantime. And, just figured out a way to present myself as a whole person rather than just doing one thing. I thought my only one thing was to just do music ever, and that's it. But just discovering other ways that I could contribute to, the world creatively was great.
So it seems like there was a little bit of postpartum depression, and there are reasons why people have postpartum depression. For women, it could be hormonal, it could be different things, or unrealistic expectations, or there's a greater cost than you expected, slow development. Did you ever experience any postpartum depression?
You mean after?
Yeah.
After it happened?
After the baby's birth. Now you've got this long division is here.
Mm-hmm.
And is everything going just the way you want it? Not saying you're depressed, but maybe it's a little bit of low feeling.
Well, I mean, probably during this quarantine, I would say. For sure. Yeah, during COVID-19, for sure.
What? Yeah, right. And which leads us to, when the baby becomes sick, because it's probably your baby is sick right now because, you are in the house and you're social distancing and everything you do is social. And so one of the things I tell people to ask when they're businesses or they having problems on the job or whatever, we talk about what is the problem, who caused the problem? Was it sickness or was it was it sickness self-inflicted or contagious? And in your case, it's nothing you did. It's contagious. It's just something going on in the environment. And what's the natural or supernatural remedy? So for your situation, what have you been able to do, maybe naturally or supernaturally, to kind of deal with the confinement of being in the home? How have you been able to still operate in the business with the social distancing?
With us, I mean, Darren, my business partner, is great with content. So I will say that's good. Just silly things around the house or, cool photos. So we've been able to kind of maneuver that way. Things that don't make you money in the short term, but just build brand awareness and kind of social currency. So like he's good at still getting that stuff out there, even though it kind of killed my motivation to make anything during this time. He's good at just keeping it going.
Oh, you gotta go back to those prenatal vitamins.
Yeah.
postnatal vitamins. So getting your scripture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, different things to encourage you. Yeah.
Yeah, but just gotta stay encouraged. But he's a great motivator, and he's keeping going on that side. So I'm lucky to have him.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So let's talk about. Well, I want them to have the opportunity to see your baby. I want to showcase your baby. So let me go ahead on and pull up your website. It is long. Wait.
Yeah, and if you got that, you can just click on the link longdivisioncreative.com.
So for those watching, you can screenshot longdivisioncreative.com or MarcusAllenWard.com, and he's also at Instagram at MarcusAllenWard.
Mm-hmm.
And let's share your website. All right. This is Long Division. Okay, now where am I going? Take me to where I'm going. You want me
that's our homepage. Yep. So you can just go to click on film at the top.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And so this will show you. So this is the commercial that we did for Union Home Mortgage. Just hit play on that. Just a 30-second ad, but this was a big deal for us.
When it comes to taking care of your family, you should be treated like family. Day or night, we promise to be there for you when you need us. At Union Home Mortgage, we are passionate about helping you achieve your unique dream of home ownership. and we'll keep you up to date every step of the way. Welcome to the UHM family. Welcome home.
All right, that is awesome.
Yeah, so that was the first video. You know, we had a budget for it. We made money, and we were able to do that as part of their Hispanic ad campaign. So,
Wow.
so
Who's that?
no, that's you.
Oh my goodness. So take us to some of your music.
You can go down. Uh-oh. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is a song called Faster.
Sun going down, she moving faster. The thoughts in my mind were moving faster. She couldn't slow down, I couldn't catch it. Are you out of control? I should have asked her. I got look away from my disaster. She couldn't slow down, I couldn't catch her.
That's cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Oh, wow. I'm so proud of you. I really am.
No, thank you. Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. And I cannot wait to just see where else God is going to take you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I know there's so much more in store for you.
You as well. All of us, you know. You too.
Yes. Yes. So. Thank you so much. And for those of you watching, if you want to get any more information about anything you've seen in any of the videos on my YouTube channel, or you would like some free coaching on Zoom, you can visit me and reach me through Instagram, Birthing Purpose with Lana. My email is birthingpurposewithlana@gmail.com, and my website is libertyinchrist.life. So, once again, thank you so much. And
thank you for having me.
I'll be cheering you on the sideline.
Thank you.
God bless.
You too.